The opening of your talk sets the tone for the entire presentation, just like your first interaction with someone leaves a lasting impression. In my years of working with speakers, I've found that the best openings are comprised of 3 key principles. First, use a hook to lead your audience to the main message. Second, flip your opening. Introduce yourself after you've hooked your audience. And third, make your title slide visual to support your story. My name's Christine and I'm your slide guide. To demonstrate these ideas, I want to show you an example of a strong opening. This talk is about prototyping strategies and it's by Carlye Lauff. Here's Carlye's opening.
When McDonald's was just getting started in San Bernardino, California in the 50s, they took their employees to a tennis court that was marked with the approximate layout for the kitchen of their store. McDonald's had their employees act out the process of cooking and delivering different food orders. They rehearsed each step of the process to understand all of the handoffs and interaction points necessary for fast food service. McDonald's was using role-playing, a common prototyping technique, to test their fast food service concept, see what problems arose, and make adjustments. The reason that I share this example with you is because unconventional prototyping strategies can help any organization accelerate their rate of learning. Today, I'm going to share with you some different prototyping strategies that I hope will help your company unlock innovation. Before we dive in, let me introduce myself. My name is Carlye Lauff, and I'm a design innovation consultant and prototyping strategy expert. Let's get started.
To look at how Carlye created this opening, let's look at how she used the 3 techniques that I shared. Number 1, use a hook to lead your audience to the main message. Carlye's main message for her entire talk is, unconventional prototyping strategies can help any organization accelerate their rate of learning. Notice how focused it is. It's 1 sentence and right to the point. Instead of burying the message at the end of the presentation, Carlye thought about what context she could share immediately that would help that message resonate with her audience. We call this a hook. Carlye used the example of McDonald's as her hook, but as a presenter, you could use an analogy, ask a question, or share some background information to begin. Number 2, flip your opening. Carlye shared her talk title and introduced herself only after she had hooked her audience with the McDonald's example and tied it to her main message. I call this a flipped opening. It's a strategy that movies and television shows use frequently. They have this cold open and then they roll the opening credits. Number 3, make the title slide visual to support your opening. Normally, presenters use a title slide that looks something like this. Then they default to the typical opening, reading what's on their slide, and the audience is asleep. Carlye thought about what visuals would represent her hook and make her example more powerful. The McDonald's sign is an instantly recognizable symbol. The tennis court diagram helps us visualize the role-playing strategy. Carlye chose to make these full-screen images to submerge us in the story and let us see the tennis court diagram clearly. Once we're hooked by the story, then we go to the title slide. By having a visual on the title slide that she's speaking to, Carlye allows the audience to read her name, her talk title, and get comfortable with the information before we dive into the talk. If you need a slide up as people are coming into the room, have your title slide twice in your talk. Have it up, then go through your opening sequence, and then return to your title slide to introduce yourself. Or include all of these visuals on a title slide and cycle through them. I know it can be daunting to create the opening for a talk, so in the description, I'll link to a worksheet that I use to develop opening content. And in my next video, I'll talk about how to incorporate an agenda slide into the opening. If you enjoyed that tip, press that subscribe button to stay up to date, or watch my other videos on how to design better slides.